only aware of that mental state. I'm in pain, but I don't know which part of my brain is fired off. I have no idea about that, but I know I'm in pain. So the brain state, if you try to say every mental state in the brain state, that doesn't have much with the pain. Still, you have to define the pain in something more specific, because every mental state is also a brain state. Desire, beliefs, intentional. That's it.
I have a question. Okay,
Yes.
if you lose a leg, you lose a limb, a lot of times people report that they have a pain where the limb is missing.
Yeah, phantom pain.
So isn't it that you have a pain, like it's a recollection, isn't it, more or less?
Not necessarily. So that only indicates that the pain is not dependent upon the limb. It's really dependent upon the brain. As long as you have the brain, you will have.
But as I'm saying, it's a recollection. It's not actually the actual pain. It's like when.
No, it's actual pain. You are suffering pain at that time. It's not just a memory of the pain. So suppose you have the phantom pain, the so-called literature called phantom pain.
Phantom.
You suffer from the pain that even from the leg, but even though you don't have the leg anymore, that's the immediate pain you are suffering from. It's not the memory, say, of the pain you suffered 1 year before. That's not the case.
Okay.
Cool first.
It's the stimulation of the nerves that have been cut.
Right.
Once you've stimulated it,
Right.
yeah. So once you've stimulated that, and the imprint in your brain is your brain used to not used to extend to a certain point. So and there's all kinds. There's so much study going on right now about pain. I have a friend whose whole doctorate was about pain, and on the medical side, and she dealt with spinal cord victims and stuff. So it's just there's so much they don't know about it. But one thing they do know, that's what phantom pain is. It's not. When it's recorded in the person's memory, they feel it because they feel a dimension, but they feel it because those nerves used to innervate that, and that's what the pattern.
So that kind of argument shows one thing, that the leg is not the immediate cause of the pain. Really, the brain activities are what immediately responsible for your feeling the pain. You couldn't feel pain without the brain, but you could feel pain even without the pain from the leg, even without a leg. So that's really said the brain is immediately responsible for your feeling of the pain. Let's add some support to the maturity to the child. The brain is a set. So we just went over this fast. The two frameworks, full psychology and mature neuroscience, and you can see Churchland favors this, and most people still want to work within the full psychology framework. It's really hard to see what's the point of doing neuroscience without those terms. If I don't have any desire to believe anymore, say, what's the point of doing science of that? So that's the first part. The second part really about epistemological question. How do you know the mind of another person? Even more seriously become problem. How do I know even other people have mind? Whether a robot or the working automaton, using Descartes' term. Descartes' criteria was pretty simple. He says language. The person, you can talk to that person. If the automaton, that machine can only speak very simple sentences. After a few minutes, hey, that's a machine. That's not a true person. So even a person with very little education, you can still figure out that a person, because he can still talk very intelligently. So that's a criteria. But today you will see, hey, that doesn't work anymore, because we do have talking robots which can really speak pretty well. So what are the arguments? What kind of argument from analogy, say, I have a mind which does this kind of things, and you does this kind of things. You do this kind of thing similar to mine, so that means you also have a mind similar to my mind. That argument is not valid, right? It's an argument for analogy. It's certainly an assumption we all hold, but it only shows that we haven't faced truly intelligent human-like robots yet. If you look at sci-fi fiction novels, and you will see this question may arise eventually in the future. And you have a robot, show you some videos after break. Really, it's already available today, and you cannot imagine what happens in the future after 20, 30 years. You may have a robot very much like us, behaving like us, thinking like us. And then, if you don't know it, you may not be able to tell whether it's a robot or human being. And if that happens, what do we do? Yeah, the other thing that is from the technical stance.
It seems like that's a big what. Like what
Big
do we
if,
do?
if you
Because
want.
isn't that what points the scientists in their direction? Is that what?
Yes.
So like, what is the what? Is there a
What,
discussion
no,
out there?
the
There is the
discussion
what?
could be okay. Should we give them the same legal status? And should we allow them, the right to vote? Should we give them the right to, say, bear arms? All this kind of things. It's very complicated, man.
Are they owned by people? Like,
So I mean, it seems like the discussion should happen before we get to that.
Yeah, absolutely.
It obviously does, but it's like to know that they're this far ahead. It's like, whoa, all right, well. Then
Philosophers are already, have figured the day about that. But it certainly didn't reach to the political sphere yet. We haven't seen a real final product which we feel certain. So not yet. So that's why maybe in 20 or 30 years, maybe we'll have some product like that, and then we'll have to seriously think about that. Yeah.
I'm a little bit confused as to what is the folk psychology, and he describes in the
Oh,
book.
folk psychology
It
is
just
just,
seems like a really
just ordinary psychology.
ambiguous.
Psychology we are using to describe our own mental states. Let's say, okay, I want to have lobster tonight. Okay, put it. But that's my desire. It's say you want to say tomorrow. What are you going to do? You want to stay at home, or you believe? Yeah.
I really do.
Yeah. So those kind of things that you have desires, you have beliefs, you have intentions, and a lot of things like that. Those are folk psychology, which Churchland talked about: desires, belief, perceptions, intentions, will, and whatever say anger, feelings, these kind of things. And he would say this kind of that before at first we talked about. He tried to eliminate all these terms, not scientific enough for him.
If you're if you're a folk psychologist, not that anybody really.
Most people are.
Isn't it, if you're a psychologist, you're a folk psychologist?
Yes, most people are. But certainly there are neuropsychologists too. I used to go to university, and university have psychology department has one building, but they have often 3 levels. The first level, second level, first level is ordinary folk psychology, and second level is often social psychology. But the basement, neuropsychology, those guys. Yeah, I don't know why the basement. Maybe they need a larger place to run.
I got the feeling that folk psychology was a pejorative term, and it's not. It's just a branch of psychology.
It's not. It's maybe. I don't know. It's a little bit biased, but I don't think people who argue for folk psychology they're proud to use that term too. So for Churchland maybe it's a little bit, but for the people who are using this term, they're not necessarily
Just it has a
dislike.
provincialism to it.
Yes, they don't have a feel. It does have a feel, but people, they don't care. People say, why not? Yeah, but maybe just ordinary psychology, just psychology.
So folk psychology is